Hi, this is Vaibhav again from TechRail, and in the last video that I uploaded, I guess I was already able to create a new chamber file at a given path, and I demonstrated a write into the chamber file. Now, I would go on and there are multiple tasks from here, and I have to take one after the other, right? For example, the first thing is I have to verify whether or not I'm able to get the file back in its original form, in its decrypted form, if I copy out. And I have written some code. Some of it was previously written. I guess I'll test that out. But copying out is not what I'm trying to solve right now. I think copy out works, but that's not my focus right now. I have to solve for copying in. I have to solve two bigger problems. The first one is uh, reading a large file, and as I said in one of the previous videos, that the blob type in SQLite cannot be more than 2 GB. So the challenge here is to actually read a 2 GB file and break it into smaller chunks, use my file blobs table to store those chunks using the sequence number, and make them all point to the FS index for that file. This is the first challenge. The other challenge is to actually recursively copy files. So I'm not gonna tackle the recursive element just yet. I am trying to do the split because I think the recursive read and encryption and copying it into a chamber file should be relatively easy, maybe harder, but anyway, I can take up only one problem at a time. So today I'm gonna try to read a large file and put it inside the chamber file with all the contents encrypted, right? And if you go to this is services CP, I think it was somewhere here. I had limited it to 64 MIB, and if it was something bigger, it would reject the operation. So for example, okay, let me try. Okay, what was it? Chamber file. I have to first create it. Is it already created? I have also moved the test content. This folder was supposed to be inside the source tree, but where'd it go? TechRail chamber here, but somehow Git seems to be messing it up, and it's including large files, so I've kept it out. Anyway, I'll be using this folder from now on. So it's in code. My user directory, home directory, and then code, and then TMP. So I'll be creating my chamber file here and be testing with contents here. All right. Okay. Let me create one first. So go run main.go new. I guess the last time I tested it, yep, it's there. Chamber path, and my password is PASSWORD. Enter. Same password. Also, if you're getting some kind of a hissing sound, that's because it's raining quite heavily here, so the microphone might be catching that. Apologies. That let me continue. So password entered is password. Vault ID is set to something here, and let me refresh. Disconnect. Refresh. It should be pointing here. Let me check whether it worked. Yes, it's the same one that has been opened. Lovely. let's see fs index, it's empty, file blobs are empty. Well and fine. Now let me try to copy a movie.move. Okay, so this is the chamber file. For CP we are using password. I entered password here, which is the same that I'm putting here. I'm trying to copy this file, chamber test contents movie.move, to chamber movie.move. Okay, I'm gonna copy this file. So let's see the size of this file, right? And the size of this file is 2.81 GB. It's one of my earlier recordings. Um, so yeah, it's 2.8 GB. No way this is gonna fit inside a single SQLite blob. And if I run it now, I guess I should be getting an error. Yep, could not copy, error this, and it says chamber does not support file size more than 64 MB. It should be this one. Chamber does not support file size more than 64 MB. Lovely. And that's it, right? So we have to remove this limitation, and we have to introduce some kind of a for loop to read in chunks. Now, that problem already did hit my mind, and like any other coder of this era, I asked for help from an AI. I think it was DeepSeek, not sure. And it gave me, like any AI would do, it gave me a code that was working partially. So I made some adjustments to it, like it, the error checking was completely stupid. Honestly, I fixed that, and it wrote some default stuff for encrypting, which I'm not gonna try. This one was fine, but yeah, it wasn't handling file sizes that were not proper chunks of 30. I think this here is where did it go? 32 MB decimal. Okay, I guess I should have specified MIB if I wanted that, but this is fine. I mean, this is fine with me. So what this program does is it takes a chunk size of 32 MB. Again, when I say MB, I don't mean MIB. That's 32 MB decimal. It tries to create the output directory. This had obviously different paths here when I first got it from the AI. Makes a key, creates a cipher, opens the file, and now what I'm trying to do here is trying to get the file size. And I should have some kind of error handling here, which I don't have, but it seems to work because things were just working. Anyways, okay, so I'm getting the file size. I think my OCD triggered. I need to do something about it. Let's say panic error. Panic. I am in a habit of putting these. Oops. Sorry. Okay. I guess it has to be plus. I don't know. Will it add? No, it won't add. So this should work. Yeah. All right. So now let me test that. I think it. Okay. How do I test it? I can. Oh, I think there is one here already. So click that. Run debug. What? Debug. Let's try. Okay, it says wrote chunk something 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 break for unexpected EOF. It went here and then it says wrote chunk number 87, and the the file that it copied was this movie.movie. So you can see that it created multiple chunks of 32 MB. And by the way, Mac counts in multiples of thousands. I think Windows counts in multiples of 1024, which makes more sense. But then this is MB, not MIB, and Windows shows MIB. But anyway, those are different issues. Uh, okay, let's check the sizes first. So it is 2.81 GB. Uh, these many bytes. Let's get this and get info. 68 bytes. A few kbs have been added to it. That sounds fine for me. I guess this is the extra uh, GCM seal being up in this nonce and everything getting into the chunks, each one of those. That's what is happening here, probably. So, all right, this code works. Let me try to apply the same logic into my CP and see if I am able to get this into file blobs. All right. So this is going to be a bit complicated. I mean, should I write the index and the file blob and then close the transaction, open again, and just write file blobs? Should I wrap everything into one transaction? Okay, let's just write it. If some things don't work, we'll look into that. All right, so what are the variables? I've got file size. Let me split this. Let's close this. Let's bring it here, close it. So I have CP here, and good enough, we can copy the file. It does not exist already, so we are going to begin the transaction. This can't be in the for loop, or it can, but then I won't be able to do multiple writes for fs index. So okay, fine. Get file size. So I'm getting the file size here, and I'm also checking for error, right? So why is error here shadowed? What is it shadowing? Okay, this one. I can rename this. So I can say stat err. Fine enough. This should make it look better. Okay, I've got the file size. I don't have the reader. I don't have a chunk number. I don't have a chunk of that size. Okay, so let's declare the chunk size. I am fine with this chunk size. 32 MB should be good, and I'll just declare it here for now. Okay. So file size. Okay, we have to get rid of this. Right. I can't read this. This does the entire read and returns the content whole file. Yeah, this is not good. So we can get rid of that. Anyways, remove that once again. Let me just do this. Okay. Nice. Let me create a reader. These are before the for loops start. For loop starts. src file. What is src file? This is the OS open, and I have to read file from, which is the string right from. So I need to open the file first, and open source file. Let's do that. Let's do that. Here would be fine. src file, and instead of src path, I'm gonna do a 2. Wait a minute. To or from? Think it should be from, right? Yeah, from, not to. This is in, so we are reading the source file. And get the file info that we have, chunk number, chunk make. Let's do that. Yep. Total bytes read is at 0. Okay, break loop is equal to false. This controls the loop, and there's only one way to break the loop here. I think I will do something about it. It will change probably, but okay, fine. Now I can write the loop. So let's start with that. Encrypt chunk. We'll stop here for the copying things. Okay. File size. What? I'll just rename this variable. This fixes the problem here, but I guess it must be, yeah. File size, we'll calculate it later. No, we are already calculating it, sir. We can get rid of this. Okay. I think I also made changes to the DB file. Okay, I'll go through those later. Let me first fix this. So break loop, read the chunk, read. The way this works here is, or here, is that when you say read full, it tries to use the reader and fill everything. And remember, this reader is against this file, the source file. It tries to read the entire file and fill the entire chunk. Okay, whatever, like if the chunk is smaller than the file, then it would fill till there and it will wait. Okay, so it will fill in case the file is bigger than the chunk size. But if it is smaller, what it does is it will give you an unexpected error, unexpected EOF, end of file. So if the file was completely read, it's io.eof, otherwise it is error unexpected EOF. And what happens is, in this case, if you are panicking and breaking out, you won't be saving the last part. Okay. So what we need to do is, when we hit this this condition, we need to check whether or not the chunk size that we have got in the end is actually matching the file size. So as the loop progresses, I'm adding the total number of bytes that have been read, right? And for the case when the chunk becomes inadequate for the number of bytes that are yet to be read, the n will be the chunk size, and in that case I'm just gonna add total bytes read. So if we are hitting this and we still have some bytes to read, I'm gonna check whether the bytes read in this iteration of this loop and the bytes read so far, when added, become equal to the total file size or not. And if that is the case, then well, it's a valid use case, valid case, and we can break safely. And this is going to be the last loop, so I'm setting break loop equal to true. Okay, if not, this is the panic. I'll remove the panic from here, but fine. We'll check on that later. Total bytes read, it gets updated for the last one as well. This is for the last use case. Okay, in case, for example, I'm reading 32 MB. If it's 33 MB worth of data, then in the last chunk I want the chunk to shrink to a size of 1 MB, right? So next is encrypt chunk. Now I think I was already doing the encryption somewhere here. Okay, we need to encrypt the contents later. I guess this was done. Let's get rid of that. We can get rid of this. or let's leave that. So copy this, file contents. In this case, it would be the chunk, right? And let me update this. We have got encrypted contents. Let's first calculate the MD5. This is for the file contents, encrypted contents. I think we can create the FS index entry and insert with transaction. And we're appending this transaction. So what I can do is copy this and create it here. Okay, I have not copied the SHA values, and okay, let's create that. Not file contents. This is going to be chunk. So chunk encrypted contents, lovely. I'm creating it, and this is gonna run multiple times, so I can't really create it. Okay, let's have another variable. I don't know, there must be better ways of doing it, but let's just have this. So in the initial state, fs index entry created is equal to false, and what I'm gonna do is, if fs index entry is not created, then we are gonna do this. Okay, and here I'm gonna do else, and fs index created equal to 2. Now this should work. All right, next insert the blob now. So let's do this, copy. In fact, I should get rid of this, right? I am already on version control. I don't have to worry about this. Commit the transaction after the loop, maybe. And let's get out this place and put it here. After the index entry has been created, fs index dot inode. I can put it out, but then I would be reassigning all of this, right? If I do that. So let me introduce the inode number. Fs inode is equal to 0, should never be the case. And if we are here, then fs inode node is equal to fs index dot inode. What happened? Type in 64, huh? Nice. Let's make it int 64, and that should satisfy the compiler. Okay, lovely. So insert the blob now. I am going to replace this with ifs inode. Nice. Sequence would be what I was having as chunk, right? Chunk num. So let's have the chunk num here over here. So 1000 plus, let's say, chunk num into 100. Does it work? Type int. Oh my god. Chunk num. Where is chunk num? This is 0. This is integer. And 1000. What is this? is int64. So we can do an int64 on the whole operation, convert the result. Alright, SHA-256 some original value encrypted contents. Encrypted contents is here, lovely. Empty not null JSON object, insert with transaction, lovely. And we can get rid of this part as well. We can get rid of this part, commit the transaction, nice. And yeah, I guess that would be it, right? This should create, how many did we create last time? Okay, I guess I cleared it up, did I? Okay, it writes 87 chunks, nice. So we'll try that again. Insert the blob, have the transaction, commit. I guess this should work, not so sure right now. And yes, I think in the last video I had not introduced this original and encrypted values, which I have this time. Okay, so it should work. I guess this we can have deleted because we are already doing it, and we can do this later, change it later. It is a file, not a directory. Yes, we will deal with this guy later. Again, insert error. Alright, it looks good to me. Let's see if it works. So this again, we have got the password, the everything. Fingers crossed. Could not copy. Oh, could not insert into file blob. Constraint failed. Unique constraint failed. File blobs inode. File blobs sequence. Exit status 1. Unique. Why? Oh, okay. So if I go here, fs index did not have anything. Nice. And chunk number should get plus plus. So I should say, because in this one I think yes they are doing it. And let me print it. Let me print this. Let's print that. Root chunk this and increment it, and then we will insert with transaction, and transaction commit is here. Let me clear it up. Go here. Press enter. Oh, nice. Looks like we are writing 87 to be exact, right? I guess the wall file must be getting called. It says success. Let's go to Finder. Let's see if the chamber file has become 2.81 GB. We have inserted something. I don't know whether it's the right data or not. FS index, one movie.org, mov. I think I'm too excited. File blobs. Okay. Original and encrypted are different. I am getting 1, 2, 3, multiples of 100. Let's see. So it starts from 1, and the first chunk is 0. So yeah, the ID will go to 88. Inode is 1, sequence is something. Contents are, it is showing 204.8 KB of 32 MB. Looks sweet. Woo! Yes, it worked. So I guess that's a win. I see that as an absolute win, right? Being Hulk and all. Okay, small win. I am happy it worked. I don't know whether it is right or not, because in the FS index I'm sure something is wrong with the SHA-256, some and encrypted. I guess it's for the first one, right? Here the first entry would be getting created. Not here, not here. Yeah, yeah. It's only for the first entry. This should match with the first one. ECFE ending with 44162. And if I go to the top, what the hell is this? I don't know. Okay, yeah, this ECFE and 44162, and encrypted one is 0EED ending with 77EC, which is the same here. So we'll have to fix this. We'll have to fix this. We'll have to find out a way to do a chunked read and calculate the SHA sum of this entire thing in one go. It's a chicken and egg problem, because I can't, if I do a phased read, this block read, I have to generate it beforehand. Only then will I get this inode to which this guy has to point. This is a little bit of a problem. Okay. 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 What I can do is I can update this entry later on. Right? I can update this entry later on. For that I have to learn how to do a phased, blocked read of a file and then calculate its SHA sum, SHA-256 sum. Alright, anyway, I will continue that in maybe the next video. For this, I think this is good enough and I can sleep with peace for today. I can say GTCP. By the way, this I am already hosting on my private server, which is where this GTCP is basically a command which I use to do a git commit push in one go. I wrote this as a small shell function, and so when I do this, it will commit and push to the private repository that I'm hosting on my own rented server. So okay, can now read. I write really bad commit messages, right? So let's improve that. Can now copy a large file into chamberfile in chunks of 32 MB. Oh, nice. Do you want to continue? Yes. That is my email address. I don't check it a lot, but yeah, you can send me an email on that if you want. Don't expect me to reply. I don't check it a lot. So, yep, looks like it worked. And I am now having a functioning vault which can at least copy a large file. See you in the next video. I hope this was fun for you as well. Bye.